software testing, right? Or else you can call it QA, quality assurance. Now quality assurance itself is giving the meaning that, so giving the assurance for the quality of the application. By testing the application, so we are going to give the assurance of the application quality, right? So that is what about QA, just at a high level. If you want to elaborate it, software testing is nothing but testing the testing meaning itself is that whatever the, see, you are a developer, right? You know very well, you will develop the application. With the application, in the application, development means functionalities implementation, right? So whatever the functionalities you guys are implementing are implemented, so those functionalities are going to validate by the tester to make sure whether the functionality is behaving as per the expected behavior or not. That is nothing but testing of a software application. So how to test, right? So what is the process? That entire process will be explained in the testing process. Here, the testing process will go like this. Plan should be there, the test plan, right? There should be a test plan for that one. So just like as when to start the testing, when to end up the testing, right? How many tests are required to test this application, right? So what are the prerequisites with respect to the software, with respect to the hardware, right? So what types of testings we have to perform, okay? So all these things. So plan will be prepared, and then test case design. Test case design in the sense means, so the testers have to study the requirement document, right? You will get an FRS document, functional requirement specification document, right? You will also get it. So by using that, they should have to know what are the functionalities implemented in the application. So what is the purpose of this application, first of all, and the functionalities. So they have to list out the functionalities that they have to test. So for the functionalities, they have to write the test cases. Plus test cases. Right? You know about what is the test case? So next, I will just explain what is a test case also. Test case execution. Okay. That execution is validation. So once we listed all the functionalities and the test cases, so we'll go through each and every functionality and validate the functionality, right? Whether they're working fine or not. Then bug reports, right? Reporting the bugs to the developers while whenever the testers gets the issues with respect to the functionality while they're testing, right? And testings, how the difference is, I mean, what is the difference you can say? Manual in the sense means whatever the functionality that we have to validate, so with respect to the functionality, we should have to perform some user operations. Right, we should have to do some actions on the application, then only we'll come to know whether it is behaving as per expected or not, right? So whatever the actions, whatever the user operations we have to do, if the user operations are performing manually by yourself, suppose I have to check a login functionality, that's simple, right? I asked you that to check the login functionality, right? Or else, just I'm asking that, are you able to log into your Gmail account? So how can you confirm me that, okay, you are able to log in or not? So what actions? You will open a browser, right? We will enter the gmail.com URL, right? So you will enter your name in the username text box, you will enter the password in the password text box, you will click on sign in button, right? So these are nothing but user operations. When these user operations are performed, then only you can confirm me that whether you are able to log in or not, right? The same way, while testing also, the same operations has to be performed by the tester, right? If that operations are performing manually, right, and making sure that particular functionality is working or not, is nothing but a manual testing. Automation testing is nothing but whatever the user operations that we are performing manually, we are going to create an automation script statements for that user operations of that functionality. When we run the script, statements will run and performs the operations on the application automatically. Okay, so just simple example I'll say, right? Suppose if you see, I want to add two numbers, right? So we need to get the addition of this. We can do it manually by ourselves. 7 plus 3 plus 2, 5, 57. So we got it by doing the operation manually, right? The same output we can also get it using the calculator tool, right?
Right.
So tool is a calculator tool is nothing but an automation tool. Here we can consider, right? So where whatever the operation, logic, right, we have performed to get the addition of these numbers. For that logic, there is a script already created in this calculator tool. When we click on this plus button, that logic script will run and provides the results here. This is automated, right? That user operations are automated. In the same way, the user operations with respect to the functionalities we are going to automate using the automation tool. Why we need to go for the automation? So what is the purpose of going for automation here? Right? The purpose of going for automation is reusability. Right? In testing, whatever the functionalities that we have already tested and working fine, for those functionalities, right? I mean, those functionalities, we have to test it repeatedly in different situations. So based on the situation, the same functionality, we have to test it twice, thrice, 4 times, or a number of times. Suppose if you see, I have tested one functionality, it got failed, right? So I have reported to the developer. Developer gave a fix to that issue after reported by the tester. So after giving the fix, right, I have to revalidate that functionality one more time, which is validated earlier and it got failed, right? That is same functionality I am testing it, right? Second time. Suppose if any enhancements are happened to the application, suppose new functionalities are added, or else some existing functionalities are removed, or existing functionalities are updated. So because of that, right, whatever the existing functionalities that are working fine may have a chance to get affected, right? So to make sure the existing code is broken or working fine, right? Again, we have to test the tested functionalities one more time, right? So in different situations, we are testing the same functionalities again and again. So instead of testing it manually, we can go with automation to reduce the time and reduce the manpower effort, right? So in any industry, right, or any domain or area, so the main concerns they'll concentrate on the time and the manpower factor. If they are able to reduce manpower and time, so that much profit they get it, right? So the cost of expend, whatever the cost they are going to spend, that cost will be decreased and they'll get more profits, right? So here also the automation. So this is overall about the testing process and basic difference between manual and automation. If you want to go for the automation, right? Okay.
Right.
So you should have the functionalities. The prerequisites are, so you should know about the functionality first. So for what functionality you should have to automate, right? That functionality and the respective user operations. Okay, right? Suppose simple example, as we already discussed, login functionality. So this is a login functionality check, right? This is a login check. So for this one, I am writing the test case like this. Test case, as I said, that user operations. I can say that navigate to email login page. So this is a functionality and it is a test case. Okay. So when we have this information, then we can create the scripts because we know what is the user operations. For this user operations, what we are expecting. So for all this, we are going to create a script. All right. So this is what. Now, so this is what the prehistory of the automation, right? So before going to go for automation, we should know all these things, right? So now, so here Selenium. Let's move to Selenium here. It's a functional automation testing tool, right? So this from ThoughtWorks people, right? There's a company called ThoughtWorks. So they have introduced this one, right? And so Google is supporting in enhancements of Selenium features and as well as funding. So they are also doing some funding on the automation tool upgrades, right? So, and it's not a single tool, right? And it's a set of components. It's not just like a single tool like relational robot, relational clear case, or PPT. Okay, remember that. It's a set of components, right? Selenium is not a single, it's a set of components, right? And the main advantages are we can do cross-browser testing, right? So Selenium is so compatible with all the operating systems and all the browsers, right? So we can test our application in any of the browser and in any of the operating systems. Okay, this is main advantage, and it supports different languages like Java, C#, Python, Ruby, PHP, etc. Right? So where suppose, see, I am very much comfortable writing the scripts in Java, right? I can use Java code, the Java syntax, Java methods, functions, everything, class, whatever practices. So if I am writing very much interested in PHP, then I can do, right? So somebody is very comfortable to write in HTML, right? So they can also do. So different languages will be supported by the Selenium, where everybody can use their own comfortable language to write the code. Right? Because see, earlier it was supported only these four, Java, C Sharp, HTML. Later they have added, so just upgrades. So if you want to have this support, PHP support, we have to add a plugin externally, right? Okay, it will not add it. So they are upgrading. Still, they are working to add more languages support to the Selenium. These are the main advantages, right? Okay, right. And disadvantage is, so it will. I mean, we can test only web-based applications using Selenium, right? Disadvantage. But if you take the rational RDM tools or QTP, so we can also test the window-based application, that is standalone applications, right? So, but in the Selenium, we can only test the web-based applications, right? Okay, right. So here I said that it's a set of components, right? So the components are Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, right? So these are the things, right? In the RC, right, on the WebDriver, we have different inbuilt frameworks, right? So JUnit and TestNG will anyway discuss that one. Selenium IDE, just use it to basic record and playback, right, in Firefox browser. Okay, right. So RC, it's a server, right, where we can enhance the script with logic script statements, right? Where in the Selenium IDE we cannot able to do the logic script statements like for loop, if loop, any logic if you want to add any logic code that it cannot be performed on the Selenium IDE. So we can use in the RC we can do that, right? And so where it will use, it is also a server where we can run the scripts using multiple browsers. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Now this is the direction. See, let's see here. This is the Selenium IDE look and feel, right? So I think you are aware of. This is the Selenium IDE, right? So where we can have record and playback. We are going to discuss all these things, right? Just for a sample, I'll show you. So just I'm taking this one. I just click on the record button, www.bing.com, right? So I'm performing the user operations, right? Whatever the user operations is performing, the respective script statement of that user operations will be automatically generated in the Selenium IDE, right? Selenium. I click on enter, and this one, right? This is the official site, Selenium HQ and downloads, right? Where we can download all the respective jar files of that Selenium respective tools. Okay, right? See, and the script is generated, right? So what is this script? How it is generated? We'll discuss it in detail, right? Now, when I click on this run button, so here I have performed the operations manually to generate the scripts, right? So I can save the script. So if I want to test this functionality again, so I will open the script and click on run button. I click on run button, it is performing the operation. See, I'm not doing anything, right? Okay. Did you observe? This is the Selenium IDE we will discuss, and then, right? So automation. So I just this is introduction part. Whatever we discussed. So reduces the manpower effort. All these things we discussed here. So different types of automation tools, as you said, the quick test, professional, rational, functional tester. So these are all different tools, right? So what is Selenium, right? So futures. So suppose cross-browser testing, right? Allows scripting in all server languages, right? Inbuilt reporting mechanism, right? That I didn't mention it, where it can only generate the reports, right? So no need to generate the reports manually. When you run particular test cases in the Selenium automation test cases, it will automatically generate the report. Okay, right? And then these are the Selenium components, right? And then so this is what our Selenium IDE, which it speaks about. Okay, right? How to install it? So that PPT is also there. These are Selenium IDE that explaining, and then we have RC. Let's see that. RC is just, see, RC server, we cannot directly use RC server. So we are going to use an integrated development environment tool like Eclipse. Okay. So using the Eclipse, so we are going to, right? So start the server, RC, stop the server, execute the commands in different browsers. Okay. Installing RC, right? So how Selenium will work exactly. So this is a script we are creating, right? Browser, okay, right? Web application, servers, HTTP proxy, launcher, driving process. Okay, so we'll all this explains as a part of this one. Installing Eclipse, how to install the Eclipse also here it is a. So this is the Eclipse look and feel, right? So just here the package explore. You know Eclipse, have an idea. You are a developer, right? I think you are having an idea about it.
Yeah.
And then I don't need to explain this one. Right. So where, okay, this we are anyway, you'll see all this one. So what is the libraries, how to, you know how to create the class package, everything in the Selenium.